There's a deep sea fish that hunts in the laziest way. When I think of a predatory fish, I think of sharks. Fast, aggressive. But this deep sea fish isn't fast, no. It uses deception to lure its prey into striking distance. It's called the anglerfish, and on a singular antenna, it possesses a ball of flickering light. In the darkness of the deep sea, many fish feed on sea life that is bioluminescent. When it's dark, you can't see much, but the things that glow grab your attention. As prey notice the anglerfish's lure, they're drawn within striking distance, and what they thought was a meal has turned them into lunch. Through the use of a lie, a deception, the belief that the glowing orb was one thing when in reality it was another, the anglerfish swallows those deceived whole.
Fish are friends, not food.
The forest was shrinking, but the trees kept voting for the axe. For the axe was clever and convinced the trees that because his handle was made of wood, he was one of them. Leftists, under the guise of compassion, are advocating for open borders. But let's be clear, their agenda is far more deceptive and power-driven than they let on. This isn't about humanitarianism. It's about control, manipulation, and a strategic push to reshape the very fabric of American society. The mirage of leftist compassion. Leftists present themselves as the saviors of the downtrodden, the voice for the voiceless. It's a crafted mirage. Their policies are not about helping people. They're about amassing control and consolidating power. They want to appear as the good guys, the virtuous, but their actions reveal a story of manipulation and ulterior motives. The real reason behind open borders is not driven by a concern for refugees or those fleeing persecution. It's a calculated strategy to import loyal Democrat voters, to secure a steady flow of cheap labor.
Hola, amigo.
Hola, ¿tú es un bueno worker?
Sí, yo muy bueno worker.
Y el acento, ¿dónde are you from?
Scranton. Y before that, La Philadelphia.
You speak English?
Yes, I'm really good at English.
Okay, good, me too. Get in the car.
Okay.
And something that has come to our attention only recently, militia for the Democratic Socialist arm. In 2023, U.S. Customs and Border Protection encountered an unprecedented 2.5 million migrants at the southern border, a drastic increase from 458,000 in 2020. This increase isn't a humanitarian surge. It's a strategic move for political gain and ideological dominance. The decline in military recruitment. U.S. Army recruitment has alarmingly declined over the past 5 years. It's not a secret that the promotional ads are less about freedom and more about ideology.
This is the story of a soldier who operates your nation's Patriot missile defense systems. It begins in California, with a little girl raised by two moms. Although I had a fairly typical childhood, took ballet, played violin, I also marched for equality. I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age. When I was 6 years old, one of my moms had an accident that left her paralyzed. Doctors said she might never walk again. But she tapped into my family's pride to get back on her feet, eventually standing at the altar to marry my other mom. With such powerful role models, I finished high school at the top of my class. Sure, I'd spent my life around inspiring women, but what had I really achieved on my own? I needed my own adventures, my own challenge. And after meeting with an Army recruiter, I found it. A way to prove my inner strength and maybe shatter some stereotypes along the way. I'm U.S. Army Corporal Emma Malone Lord, and I answered my calling.
Why is the world's most powerful military attempting to appeal to man buns, soy boys, and lesbians? This is something out of Brave New World, the likes of which don't strike fear into the hearts of the enemy, but motive to snuff us out. Not only that, but the government's forced vaccine mandates upon our military personnel severely diminished our army of the patriots who refused the vax. The vaccine mandate effectively resulted in an ideological purge of patriotic conservative men. Now we're weak, both with the soldiers left and the ones we're recruiting for. For some reason, the US military isn't trying to recruit the bravest, strongest, most lethal soldier that will get the job done. No, they're trying to recruit the most diverse. Hit those quotas. Why do you think they chose to run this advertisement as a cartoon? Who do cartoons appeal to? Children. Not terminating the threat with extreme prejudice, because prejudice is wrong. This not only recruits the wrong, quote-unquote, soldier, but turns away the actual ones that could defend our nation. But why? Why is the most powerful military on Earth not recruiting the best for the job, but the most ideologically motivated? Stick around to find out. You are not going to believe this, but our military has been infiltrated, and not just by the woke lefties.
What troubles me about the debate now about the southern border is it is one half of the immigration equation. Yes, we need order at the border. Yes, we need to have changes in the laws that reflect the reality of the overwhelming numbers from all over the world who are coming to our shores and our border. But there is also an incredible demand for legal immigration into this country even now. The presiding officer, my colleague from the state of Illinois, has legislation which addresses one aspect of that. Her bill, and I hope I describe it accurately, says that if you're an undocumented person in this country and you can pass the physical and the required test, background test, the like, you can serve in our military, and if you do it honorably, we will make you citizens of the United States. Do we need that? Do you know what the recruiting numbers are at the Army and the Navy and the Air Force? They can't reach their quotas each month. They can't find enough people to join our military forces. And there are those who are undocumented who want the chance to serve and risk their lives for this country. Should we give them the chance? I think we should.
It's funny how he replaced the term illegal immigrant with undocumented migrant. That's like replacing the term murderer with homicide offender. I'm not a killer, I'm an unaliver. Have you noticed that the majority of those crossing the border are military-aged men? Not families, not mothers with young children, but military-aged men, many of which are from China. A bill has been proposed offering citizenship to undocumented individuals in exchange for military service. This isn't about strengthening our forces. It's a covert operation to transform the military's identity and allegiance. This bill is a guise, a means to an end that involves altering the very essence of our military. You see the problems in giving illegal aliens military-grade weapons? Which is a stupid term because we should all have access to military-grade weapons. But do you see a problem in granting foreigners access to military intelligence, tactics, American strategies? Not only that, but if you fight for us, we'll give you full citizenship. The left is crafting an ideologically driven military force. This force isn't meant to protect and serve the American people traditionally. Instead, it is designed to target and suppress political adversaries, particularly those on the right. This is not about national defense. It's about ideological conquest and suppression of dissent. The future the left envisions for America is one of ideological domination. The transformation of immigration and military policy is a calculated move to reshape America. Open borders and the military's changing face are part of a broader, more sinister strategy. The left's actions suggest a push towards an America where traditional values and constitutional rights are overshadowed by their singular political agenda. The evidence is clear. The drastic increase in migrants at the border, the transformation of military recruitment, and the proposed legislation to hire foreign militia all point towards a move to erode the foundation of American democracy, the role of the citizen. As citizens, we must recognize and confront this unfolding story. We must see through the surface of these policies and understand their broader implications. It's time to stand up against this calculated move to reshape our nation. We must safeguard our values, our freedoms, and the very essence of what it means to be American. Our situation as a world leader is dire. Recruitment for new soldiers is lower than what it was at the end of Vietnam. That's just recruitment, let alone the COVID purge that removed the real soldiers who were qualified and had the right mindset, ideology, and heart to protect our Constitution and its people. Thank you to those soldiers who stood up for their constitutional right to bodily autonomy. You think these new foreign soldiers will be forced to get the vax? It was never about the vaccine. The left's push for open borders and the transformation of our military are not about compassion or defense. They're about control, manipulation, and reshaping America into something unrecognizable. We're at a crossroads, and the path we choose now will determine the future of our nation. It's time to take a stand to ensure that the America we know and love prevails.